Okay, so now that you've learned all about revision and how to review, how to peer review, let me show you or walk you through like the actual peer review assignments you'll be completing. So this is where you're going to submit your rough draft. So this is the rough draft assignment for your essay number 1. It's called essay number 1, building block 2. Okay, so you'll have a building block before this, but this is building block 2, the actual rough draft, where you will turn in your rough draft. So this is what it'll look like when you turn in your rough draft, okay? When you are ready to peer review, and as a reminder, you are going to be assigned digitally by me 3 peer review partners, okay? When I have assigned that, that's going to show up right here. So you will see 3 peer review partners that were listed right here. You will click, when their names are here, you'll click on that, and that will bring you to their essay that you want to peer review. Sometimes when you click on it, it'll open a new page and it'll have like a line that says view feedback. I can't show you that because I'm not a student, so it won't show up for me like that. But if you do see that, you're going to want to click view feedback, and it should open up their essay like this. When that happens, you will see up here, these are all of your annotation materials, okay? So this one is what you're probably going to use the most. This is the highlight button. So anytime you want to comment on something, you can highlight, and then this guy will show up. You'll click on that, and it'll let you leave a comment. You can say whatever you want, okay? As a reminder, annotating calls for you making comments and writing phrases or sentences, whatever. So anytime you highlight something, make sure that you leave a comment to tell the person that that's paper you're reading. You need to tell them why it is you highlighted it, like whether it's good, whether it's confusing, whatever reason you actually highlighted it, please make sure that you explain that, okay? Please highlight in any other color but green. When I give feedback, I am going to highlight in green. So you can choose any of these other colors, but please do not use the green highlight, so that way it's clear which feedback comes from me, okay? Additionally, try to use a different color highlighter than the person who peer reviewed before you. So let's say somebody, one of the other 3 partners that were assigned to the essay that you're reading, one of them has already peer reviewed it before you, and they have highlighted stuff in orange. Rather than continue to highlight in orange, choose a different color, right? Maybe you're going to start highlighting with blue. That way, when this person comes back to view their feedback, they can kind of differentiate what feedback comes from who. They'll say, oh, okay, anything highlighted comes from Jamie. Anything blue came from Sam. And they'll know anything green came from me, okay? So if somebody peer reviewed the essay before you, please try to choose a different highlighter color than they did. You can also use this button. This is kind of like a little locator tab. Like, let's say you want to comment, I don't know, or you want to say that they need to add a word right here in between these 2 words. You can say, missing the word the. Okay, whatever it is, like if you want to mark like a very specific spot, you can do that. Again, highlighting would work for that too, but you have this option to use if you want. This is a text box, so like if you wanted to add a box of text for some reason, you can do that. Try to avoid doing that as much as you can, just because when all of a sudden, like if all 3 of you who are reading one paper use the text box, it tends to get a little bit messy. So again, anytime you use this guy or the highlighter, you can add a comment. So there really isn't any reason for you to use the text box. So avoid that at all costs. This is a strike through button. So if you think that they should delete an entire sentence, you can just straight up cross it out. But again, please make sure you leave a comment to explain why it is you left that annotation, okay? This is the drawing tool. I am forbidding you to use this, okay? You may not use the drawing tool. A lot of times students, for some reason, instead of highlighting, they'll use this and underline, and it's kind of difficult to make a straight line, and so words end up being crossed out. And so if all three of you who are peer reviewing are doing it in different colors, like sometimes it'll end up kind of just like looking crazy, and you don't want to do that, okay? It makes it hard for me by the time I go and give feedback. Sometimes I can't read certain words. It's just messy and gross. It ends up kind of just looking like this. So please don't do it. Don't use the drawing tool. Lastly, this is like you can draw a box. I only use this if I am wanting to comment on like the entirety of a paragraph. So if I have something to say about this paragraph as a whole, like maybe I want to say like move this paragraph to body paragraph number 1. Okay. Rather than highlight the whole thing, I'll just draw a box around it. Okay. You don't have to use these tools in the exact same way that I'm using them. I'm just kind of showing you how to use them and the ways that I use them. You are free to use them however you want, except for the drawing tool. You cannot use it. And the only other thing that I require is please don't use the color green. And anytime you do mark something on the paper, make sure you leave a comment to explain why. Okay, so if you look here at part 2 of this assignment, so part 1 is, of course, to submit your rough draft. Part 2 is the peer review part. After you have read and annotated, you are going to go ahead and fill out these care questions in the comment section of each paper. So again, this is what the assignment will look like. If you'll notice right here, there is a text box that you can type in, okay? In this box, you are going to be answering the CARES questions, which I have linked here for you in the actual assignment, okay? So these are the CARES questions. I think it's 5 questions. Congratulate. What does your partner do well in this assignment? Write what do you think your partner's thesis is according to what you've read. Ask clarifying questions, request more, evaluate its value, summarize, okay? So in the text box or in the this paragraph, this comment section of the essay, you are going to answer these questions, and it should look like this. So you should have a C, an A, okay? And then for each one, you'll actually type something, complete sentences. Your annotations don't have to be complete sentences, but please answer the CARES questions in complete sentences. Your annotations that you make, they will save automatically, so there's not like a submit button for the annotations, but for the CARES questions, for the comments, you have to press submit down here, okay? Please make sure you do not skip the CARES questions. Canvas will not mark that you completed peer review without leaving something in the comments box, okay? That's how Canvas knows you've completed the assignment, is once you've submitted a comment here. So let's say you do all the annotations, but you don't submit the CARES questions here, you won't get credit for peer review. So don't let that happen. Make sure you complete it. It's super easy. Again, please take the time to give good feedback. It's important for you to give the same level of feedback that you would want to receive, or maybe even better. I know some people don't really care about feedback, but assume that your partner does care about feedback, so make sure you're giving actual detailed information.